Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review. And today we'll be looking at the Marvel Legends series Hank Pym Giant Man and Janet Van Dyne Wasp. And this is the 2-pack that's accompanying the Hasbro Marvel Legends Giant Man that's coming later this year. But I think we're getting him a lot sooner than we expect. It's just very random and sporadic for the Marvel Legends team to announce this 2-pack and then it be shipped the very next day. So no pre-orders for this 2-pack, just straight delivered to us right after it was announced. So a little suspicious about that. I could be wrong. I could be just speculating and talking out my ass. But this 2-pack is pretty dope, man. I'm very excited to have this 2-pack. Again, it does accompany that Giant Man Hasbro that happened late last year, about halfway through the year last year. And yeah, man, just excited to look at these two. I've been wanting a good Wasp figure in my collection, and this is a great way to do it. So again, this was announced, the Wasp figure was announced during the Hasbro campaign, and we didn't know how we were going to get her in a 2-pack or single carded, or we just didn't know how she was coming. So when they announced that she was coming with Hank Pym, it was pretty dope. We get a regular size Giant Man to go with our Hasbro size Giant Man. So cool 2-pack, a lot of cool things going on here. So let's get a quick look at the packaging, and then we'll get a quick look at the figures. This is the return of the window packaging. Again, to me, it didn't matter if it was windowed or windowless, as I opened most of my figures. So I like that the window's back. You can see that everything is here and that you're getting what you bought. So that's the only positive of this window packaging. I really did like the windowless packaging because I feel like they could have done a lot of cooler things, kind of like the VHS tapes. I think that was a good route that they were heading towards. I always thought that the front should have been like a cool comic cover of that character, and then the back shows you what the figure is. Instead, they did the ugly renders of the figures in the front, and then, you know, the same exact thing in the back. So missed opportunity. They could have done some cool things with that windowless packaging, but it's nice to have this window back, man. Kind of gives you gives you nostalgia of what Marvel Legends was. So yeah, enough about that window. But yeah, you get a big window here that shows the whole product. It shows you all the accessories and everything that it comes with. The figures, Legend Series, Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest. So it is using that old logo from last year's the line that they usually do during the summer. So Avengers, or what is it, the anniversary line. So the Avengers Beyond Earth Mightiest, Marvel, Hank Pym Giant Man, Janet Van Dyne Wasp, ages 4 and up. Hasbro, warning, do not eat any of the accessories. On the side, you get some dope ass retro style comic book art, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, if they did the windowless packaging again, they should have done like a comic cover in the front and then the renders of the figures in the back. On the back, you get a read up of Hank and Janet Van Dyne, and it just says Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne use Pym particles to manipulate size and defend Earth as members of the first Avengers team. It shows a nice little homage image right there to the first Avengers comic. Hank Pym, Giant Man, Janet Van Dyne, Wasp, whole bunch of warnings down here. On the side, you get that same image, just reversed and mirrored. On top, you get that Beyond Earth Mightiest Heroes logo. On the bottom, you get a whole bunch of random shit and a barcode, but you don't really need it, as this was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and it is currently sold out, I believe. Once it sold out, it went back up for pre-order, and then the pre-order sold out. So I don't think you'll be able to get this 2-pack anytime soon unless they do another restock. But enough about this packaging. Let's get a quick look at the figures and the accessories they come with. Now getting a quick look at Hank and all the accessories that he does come with. Since he does use the most reuse, we're going to be looking at him first. Now the hands that he come with are a little disappointing because he does only come with one left fist and one right trigger finger hand, which I don't know why he will need a trigger finger hand, man. He's not going to be blasting none of these fools. So yeah, a little bit odd that they chose to go with just one fist and one trigger finger hand. The last set of hands that he does come with, I could have completely done without, and it's these huge open, bear claw type of hands. I'm not sure what to call them. They're just these open, dramatic clawing type of hands. And honestly, I'd rather have had the 2 trigger finger hands and the pair of fists, because yeah, I don't know what he's going to use these hands for. He also does come with these beakers, or whatever you call them, flask. And yeah, the only hand that can hold them are the trigger finger hand. And you get 2 of them. They're pretty cool. They're in this semi-opaque plastic that's kind of has a pearlescent silver white to it. But on the bottom, you can see that it does have this blue, plastic inside of it, and the other one has it as well. And yeah, man, he comes with two, and only the trigger finger hand holds it. So I'm not sure why he came with those bare claw hands. Again, I'd rather had two trigger finger hands and a pair of fists rather than the bare claw hands. But these little flash things are pretty cool. You can plug little smoke effects or little fire effects on top of them. So yeah, nice little accessory. He also does come with this little tablet or this little iPad. I don't know what to call it. It's like a little scientific tablet. It's the exact same one that came with, what was it? One of the AIM soldiers or the AIM scientists. As you can even see the little hexagons in the back. So yeah, it's cool that they included this. Wasn't necessary, not really. But it's cool, man. You get some blues and reds right there. And it does come in a semi-opaque, gray plastic. I just wish we could have gotten something else, like a shrunken down, something else shrunken down than what we get. So yeah, this tablet's cool. I just don't think it was necessary. And what I mean by other shrunken down things, he does come with a shrunken down Avengers Quinjet, and as you can see, this is pretty cool. We did get a tease of this a few streams back when the Marvel Legends team was revealing some, new Marvel Legends. And we get the little Quinjet. It's pretty dope. It's a gray plastic, no real paint to it. You get the A Avengers logo right there. And then it has some blue, silver, metallic colors right there for the window. And the open claw hand does hold it, but it doesn't hold it all that well. So honestly, I think the grip hand, trigger finger hand that he comes with can hold it just as well. So again, I hate to keep harping about the hands, but it's just so odd that they didn't include a full pair of fists. And it's just unfortunate because, what if you have your giant man with two fists and then you can't recreate that with the 6-inch figure. Now, Hank Pym does come with two different head sculpts. Obviously, we get this unmasked head sculpt, and it's the exact same that we got with the Hank Pym from the Amazon Avengers West Coast Avengers box set. Unfortunately, I don't have that Hank Pym anymore. And yeah, it looks good. I did see some comparison videos and pictures, and they're pretty similar. Just the skin tones are a little bit different, and the eyebrows are different. I think the previous Hank Pym head sculpt had what was it? Oh, he had brown eyebrows compared to the blonde one that we get here. And then we get the masked head sculpt, and this one looks dope, man. He looks pissed off. He looks like he's about to shrink you down and kick your ass. And yeah, I like it quite a bit. The only thing is that you have only the black antennas. If you want to have your HasLab with the white antennas, you won't be able to do that unless you customize it. I don't know how else they would have done it, honestly, unless giving us a whole other head sculpt with the white antennas. But yeah, it's a dope head sculpt, man. I like this one quite a bit. Now, probably the most exciting accessory that comes with Hank Pym is the normal size lab coat. The only other character that we've gotten with a soft good lab coat was the Beast figure in the retro card. And that one was oversized as, Beast is a huge character. But this time around, we get a normal size civilian size lab coat. And it looks dope, man. I think it fits him fairly well. It doesn't look oversized or baggy. Maybe if it would have been a little bit longer, that would have been cool. But yeah, overall, this is a dope lab coat. It doesn't have any wires in it, so you can't really pose it. But you can crease it to your liking, so you can have it kind of like flapped open like this. You can pop the collar. And yeah, I love this, man. Can't wait to see what people do with it. I know some people are going to put it on their Reed Richards or on their Bruce Banner. So yeah, love that they included this lab coat. Now getting a quick look at Hank Pym himself. There's not much to him. Do I like this figure? Yes. Do I love this figure? No. Some weird things about this figure. I don't know why they chose to go with the Sunfire body mode. They could have used the Vulcan. They could have used the Amazing Fantasy. They could have used so many other bodies, but they chose to go with the Sunfire body, which at this point is an outdated body. That's just my opinion. And yeah, don't like it. But they did upgrade him by giving him pinless arms and pinless legs. But this figure just looks old, man. If it wasn't for the pinless limbs, he would look like a figure that came out, 4 or 5 years ago. And I think overall he's pretty solid. It's gonna pair up with your HasLab fairly well. It's just that, yeah, body mold choice. Don't know why they decided to go this route. And yeah, just gonna quick look at him. I think that his head sculpt looks really, really nice. I love that face printing technology. It keeps getting better and better. And yeah, man, it's looking less pixelated over time. As you know, the first couple of Marvel Legends with that face printing technology looked very, very pixelated. But this overall looks dope. They went with the black antennas because I guess that's more of the classic look. I love the face expression they gave him. It's kind of serious, kind of angry, looking like he's ready to go kick some, villain's ass. I love the little white squares right there. Or not, those aren't really squares. Those are rectangles. The back of the head, nice. I love the little wrinkles right there. Just small little attention to detail. They painted the little, I guess, what would you call this? A little harness or the suspenders on. It's not an actual piece of plastic. It's just painted on. I wish they could have found a way to do the harness, the actual harness, a piece of plastic for the harness instead of just painting it on. Because, yeah, I think it would have benefited it being an actual piece. It does go onto the butterfly joints, but when you move it, it starts getting a little choppy right there. So, yeah, it's a little unfortunate, as well as the back kind of gets a little choppy. I've seen some defects already where, like, the paint is not completely filled out right there. And some people didn't even get the black stripe on the butterfly joint. So, just little things like that that are kind of stupid. The belt is a separate piece. Mine seems to want to keep riding up, so I have to keep pushing it down. But it's nice that it's a separate piece. It kind of hides that waist joint that I hate. I hate waist swivels. I think they're severely outdated. So yeah, the shorts meet right where the thigh cut is, which I love because I hate thigh cuts. I think those are severely outdated as well. So I love that. The only unfortunate part right here is that the boot cut, which I think are also outdated, is it just looks a little weird because the spikes end right there. So I don't know how else they would have done it, but overall pretty solid figure, man. I mean, there's not much to him. Pretty familiar body with some new pinless limbs, and yeah, pretty solid overall. Let's get a quick look at his articulation. Should be fairly familiar with this body articulation. His head is on a disc hinge, so you can look all the way up, which is nice. I do like that. I just don't like disc hinge. I like the other setups. You can look down quite a bit. No head pivoting because of that disc hinge. You get butterfly joints to shift all the way back and good amount forward. Even if you turn it, I think it goes a little bit more. He does have bicep swivel, double pinless elbows that bend in a decent amount. That's more than 90, so yeah, pretty decent amount. This trigger finger hand has a vertical hinge, and all the other hands have the up and down hinge. So I love that they at least gave him the vertical hinge on the trigger finger hand. And then he does have an ab crunch that goes this much forward, that much back, waist swivel, upper thigh cuts, double pinless knees that can kick his own back, so that is nice. Boot cut, foot hinges this much forward and that much back, and he does have ankle pivot. Peg goes at the bottom of the feet. He can kick this much forward, decent amount back, and a decent amount to the side. Now getting a quick look at all the accessories this figure does come with. She does come with a pair of fists and a pair of open palmed hands, which I'm most certain they are a new pair of hands. I don't think I've ever seen these pair of hands. They look similar to the typical open palmed female hands, but these have a little bit more detail and they're slightly different from the pose that they're usually in. So I do like that we're getting new hands. Maybe if they were just slightly more different from the previous ones. But yeah, I think these actually do look better than the ones that we usually get. We also do get her wings, which we've seen plenty of times before. These are the typical female wings that we get with all the Winged female characters, and they're pretty dope, man. The only thing is that I haven't had any good experience with these wings. The peg that connects to the lower wing for the smaller part of the wings, I'm not sure what it's called, always seem to break on me. I've had it break on my female beetle. I've had them break on, I can't remember what other figure it broke. And hopefully that's not the case with this figure. They're using a lot better plastics. But in the back of my mind, I'm just nervous that that's gonna happen. So they're dope. They hinge right here at the lower wing, and they flap forward and back. So I wish they could engineer some better wings, but these will do. Now, Janet does come with two very, very beautiful head sculpts. This first one being a helmeted version of her head. And I love it, man. I think the antennas are done very nicely. They're soft and pliable, so you don't have to worry about them breaking off. This very nice blue hue metallic on her little, I guess, what's supposed to be her stinger up there. It's funny. She just looks like a cone head to me. I love these little earmuffs right there as well. I think those are done really well. And just her face looks really, really pretty, man. It's just a really pretty head sculpt. And I think that, Marvel Legends team keeps getting better and better with her heads. And yeah, dope little head sculpt. The cool thing about this, the little communicator thing right there, a microphone, does move. It's articulated. So just really dope that they included that. It's not necessary, but they included it. And yeah, man, I think that's a pretty dope head sculpt. She also does come with a very beautiful unmasked head sculpt. And I think this is one of Hasbro's best unmasked female heads. And yeah, man, again, they just keep getting better and better. This is just a very, very pretty head sculpt. A lot of people saying she looks like Johnny Depp's ex-girlfriend or wife. What was her name? Damn, I can't remember her name. But I kind of see that, but I really think she looks like this singer named Nicki Nicole. She's a Spanish singer, a Argentinian. I think she's Argentinian singer. She used to date Peso Pluma, a Mexican artist. And yeah, I don't know. I see it in both likenesses. And here we have the Wasp, and mostly good. Some bad in this figure, but it's mostly good. I think she looks really pretty. It's a really nice done figure. Just some engineering things that I'm not a big fan of. Again, my biggest complaint is probably the wings. I just think they're outdated. I think we could have gotten a new nice set of wings with this brand new body that we get. So yeah, those wings are probably I would say they're my second biggest complaint. My first is the movement at the torso. You get almost zero movement at this torso, none forward and none back. So when you have her in flying poses, she won't really be able to look up. One, because she doesn't have that disc hinge, so that already limits the articulation on the head, which I do prefer the ball joint, the dumbbell joint. But if she had that better movement at the torso, she will be able to look up a lot more. So you get little movement at that torso. And then I've seen a lot of people have this thigh gap right there. I know you can see it right there and right there. And it seems to be a reoccurring issue with most of people's Wasp figures. So that's a little unfortunate. Maybe if I heat it up and kind of push it, maybe they'll eliminate that thigh gap. But overall, still a really nice looking figure, man. It's about time we get a classic looking Wasp. And this one's nicely done. Just gonna quick look at her. We get let me see if I can move my lights a little bit more to kind of give you more light right there. And there we go. And there we go. So yeah, again, we looked at the head sculpt. It's really pretty. It's really nicely done. You get this very nice earmuff right here, which is articulated. And actually, that was about to pop off. Did you guys see that? So I think you can remove that if you want to, for whatever reason. One thing that I did notice when messing around with this figure is that the antennas are articulated. So yeah, you can have those kind of spread out or moved inwards. So yeah, nice little, again, attention to detail by Hasbro. You get that same metallic silver blue right there, as well as on the chest. So love that they have that matching blue and silver right there. The rest of the body is pretty much a solid piece. So it's a separate piece right here that connects to the waist. And yeah, man, you get that very nice matte red, and then that glossy black for the legs and the arms. And yeah, overall pretty solid figure. The paint applications on the boot is solid, and no black seeping through or anything, so I like that. The back, you get some nice sculpted wrinkles. So yeah, man, pretty dope figure. I like it quite a bit. Now her articulation, again, it is good in some areas, but for the most part, it's lacking. So the head does move up as it is on a dumbbell joint, so it will look up some and it will look down some. Actually, it's pretty decent. It's not the worst. and then you get some nice head pivoting, as the head pivot on these dumbbell joints is pretty dope. As you can see, you can actually push it a lot more. And then you get the new arms for her, so she can move her arms all the way up, so that's a pretty decent amount. You get bicep swivel, you get double jointed elbows that bend in a great amount, all the hands swivel and hinge up and down. And then again, we've gone over the torso, it's not the greatest, so she'll crunch not much forward, not much back, a little bit to the sides, and then you do get a swivel. So that's the most you'll get out of that torso, is the swivel. Her legs, again, that thigh gap is unflattering, but I'll try to heat it up and see if I can move them a little bit more forward. But you do get the swivels right there, upper thigh cuts, double jointed knees that are pinless, and she can kick her own ass. So that is nice. She does have a hinge at her foot that hinges this much forward, that much back, and she does have ankle pivot with pecals at the bottom of her feet. Before we get into some size comparisons, I did want to look at Wasp one more time, because I did do some modifications. As you can see, she's a little wet. So I did pop her apart a little bit, and so first thing I did was try to get that thigh gap to be eliminated, but I just couldn't. There was a little bit of plastic right there that was kind of getting in the way. I kind of shaved it off with an X-Acto knife, but I think it's the peg. The peg is really, really long. So I think if you was to cut just a tiny bit of it, it'd be able to pop on a lot more flush. But I'm just not willing to do it because, I don't know if cutting that peg is going to, make the leg not stay on. So yeah, didn't want to really mess with the leg anymore. But I did get some more movement out of the torso. What I did was I popped it off. The lower waist has a ball joint, and or a dumbbell joint, I'm sorry, and the upper torso is where the peg is. So I shaved around the peg, which you can't see it from the outside. So I shaved around it, and I gave it a little bit more movement for that ball joint, that dumbbell joint to move around. And now she can crunch a lot further back. So that is pretty dope that she can move a lot further back and a lot more forward. So you actually get some movement out of there now, and some side to side. So yeah, man, I really like the little modification. I will say that when I was trying to pop it apart, I did have the head sculpt on, and I don't recommend that. Pop the head sculpt off and the wings, because I did stress that antenna a little bit, and it has a white stress mark. I don't know how well it comes off on camera, but yeah, it's very, very minor, but I'm scared it's going to break over time. So do be careful when you're popping your figure apart. If you do decide to do modifications, yeah, unfortunately, wasn't able to fix the thigh gap, but I was able to fix the articulation on the waist. So yeah, she moves a lot more now, and I like it, man. Now getting a quick look at some size comparisons. Here we have the Wasp and Giant Man next to the Marvel Legends Target exclusive Beyond Earth Mightiest Heroes Super Articulated Black Widow, and the Target exclusive Marvel Legends Scott Lang Ant-Man. And as you can see, that Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Giant Man kind of share a lot of similarities. So these all look pretty dope together, man. And don't know what I'm going to do with my Scott Lang Ant-Man now that I have my Giant Man. But yeah, I love the size comparison between all these. I did want to mention that Scott Lang and this Giant Man share the exact same body. Even though they're different characters or different persons, they share the same body. The only thing is that this one's pinless and this one's not. So don't know why he gets the pinless treatment and he doesn't, even though these figures are like a year or two apart, and the pinless technology was around for, when this figure came out. So yeah, just a little weird little thing that I've noticed. And here they are next to the 20th anniversary retro card Captain America and the Mafex Classic Iron Man. Here they are next to the Mafex store and the Marvel Legends retro card Hulk. Here they are next to the Marvel Legends Hawkeye and the Marvel Legends War Machine. Here they are next to the Vision and the Falcon. And there you have it, a very solid 2-pack by the Marvel Legends team. I think this is a great 2-pack that's going to accompany. And there you have it, a very solid 2-pack by the Marvel Legends team. This 2-pack's going to accompany the Giant Man fairly well. I love that they gave us a regular sized Giant Man and a Wasp, a classic Wasp that we've been needing for our collection for a very long time. I know some people are going to hate this 2-pack. Some people are going to love it. I personally love it, but I know those people that are going to hate it. They're going to say what we all expect. This should have came with the HasLab. This should have been included. this should have been a must with the HasLab. And while it would have been nice to get it with the HasLab and not have to pay, you know, $50 for this 2-pack, or 60 I think after shipping. It is nice not having figures, you know, kind of tied to the HasLab. You know, if the HasLab doesn't work, we don't get this figure. So that's what happened with Mephisto. With the last HasLab, that didn't work out for the Marvel Legends team. So I'm just happy to have these figures and these characters in my collection now, man. And yeah, pretty solid overall. You guys can make up your decision if you're going to be picking this up or passing on it. Although it is kind of currently sold out on Hasbro Pulse. So yeah, man, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this 2-pack. If you either hate it, love it, if you know you think that Wasp should have came by herself, just let me know. Let me know down in the comments below, man. What do you think? Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Every subscriber counts and every like counts. So I really do appreciate those who do take their time to do either or. Follow me on my Instagram. It's all in the description down below. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. But I really only use Instagram. I don't really use TikTok or Twitter. So yeah, follow me on my Instagram. I'm trying to get that to grow. For some reason, I can't get past like 400, 500 followers. So I would really appreciate it if you do follow me on my Instagram. And yeah, man, enough of that. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.